Latoya Legrand, how you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And I also got actor / social entrepreneur Edwin Freeman in the building.
Peace, Samuel.
All right, what's going on? I'm gonna need you to lean a little forward. I know you cool because you're acting and all that, but I'm
no doubt.
Need you a little bit lean forward into the mic. Latoya, welcome. Well, can I call you Miss Legrand?
Yes, or Latoya, whichever you're comfortable
Miss
with.
Legrand, I'm gonna, put some esteem on your name. You're running for political office. So what exactly are you running? What are you running for currently?
So I am currently running for City Council.
Okay.
District 28, located in Queens.
Okay, that's right here.
Yes, it is. So we cover South Jamaica, Rochdale Village, South Ozone Park, and Richmond Hill.
Dope. So let me ask you, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Brooklyn.
Really?
So, yes, I'm a Brooklyn girl. Yes,
okay,
I'm a Brooklyn girl. But I'm Queens made.
You Queens made.
Yes, I'm Brooklyn raised. Yes, and Queens made. Absolutely.
Okay. So what had a big impact on you growing up? Was it like a situation? Was it a person, a place? What had like a big impact on you, like kind of shaping you to who you are today?
So growing up wasn't always glorious. It wasn't always a pretty thing. I faced a lot of challenges growing up.
Okay.
And at a certain age, I entered into the foster care system, along with my other siblings. And then I had an autistic brother. And when I was younger, my grandmother used to tell me, make sure you always look out for your brother.
Okay.
And, being young and facing those challenges and not understanding life and what that looks like, it was very hard. And then I became a teen mom at 17 years old.
Okay.
Then from there, I moved into a shelter.
Wow.
With my son at that time. And then we moved into NYCHA. So all of that together, those challenges shaped me into who I am. But it also showed me where there was lack of resources, where if they were available, I could have gotten to where I needed to get sooner. But I took my tragedy and I turned it into triumph. That's right, because everyone has a story, but people only want to hear about the winners.
About the winners, right? But one of my popular slogan is success is built off of failures. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks to the top is like a linear movement, but it's not. You got hills, peaks, valleys, all of those things. So what were you doing before all of this, before politics? Like what kind of work or community involvement were you a part of?
Well, I've always been on the ground, especially since I'm a mom. I've always been engaged in programs, community, putting the community together, organizing on the ground. I also have a nonprofit called Projects to Projects.
Okay.
And we serve people who reside in NYCHA, foster care, and shelters, and we also advocate for children with IEP and autism.
Really?
So my whole mission is based off of everything I've went through and that I've overcame, and I had to do it myself. There was no blueprint. I had to go find those resources.
You had to blaze a trail.
Yeah, I had to go do that, right? And I'm also the executive member on the community board as the education chair.
Okay.
So that's what I did before, and that's what I'm doing now.
So you speaking to me when you say that. I have a son with autism.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
My son is 11 years old. He'll be 12 years old this summer. So he's autistic. So when you say that and you've gone through it, I definitely understand.
You feel it because there's a lack of resources. Not a lack of resources, as a lack of access to resources, and there's a lack of getting the information out to parents of what their rights are and what services are provided that are available to them.
Absolutely.
And so I made it my mission because no one just gave it to me. I had to go look for it. I made it my mission to make sure I get that out to parents and to let them know you're not by yourself. Just because your child has an IEP, which is individual education plan, also known as special education, or a 504 plan, doesn't mean anything's wrong with your child. They just learn differently.
They learn differently.
And when parents understand that there are parents going through the same thing, and there are resources and services, they feel better about parenting, and they're better to advocating for what their child needs.
Right, they feel more empowered than being a victim of the system.
That's right, and that's my goal.
The new term is neurodivergent. It just means they learn to communicate differently.
They communicate differently. Yeah. What inspired you to run for City Council in District 28?
Well, politics was never in my thought process. I never prayed for it.
Really?
I wanted to go to school because I was a teen parent. I understood that my son was a black kid in America, and that's just what it is. So I wanted to go. I'm a John Jay alumni.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to school to be a criminal defense attorney because I always wanted to protect my child. So I figured if I'm an attorney, I'll know judges, I'll know prosecutors, I'll know other, political leaders, and I could protect my child by any means and at all costs. So running was, like I said, was never my thing. But through my leadership and being the founder of my nonprofit organization, being in leadership on a community board, making decisions for our district, making sure that the community's heard, I realized we have to put policies in place. Passion is not going to cut it.
Right.
We need to be voices in City Hall and to make sure that we're providing real solutions. Because when you're on the ground, you see what the struggle is. You understand it. And being a mother and being a part of those struggles in housing, dealing with increase of, food and your rent. And then you're dealing with sanitation, the potholes. These are things that we're dealing with every day. And the only way you can really get the true results for that is being a city council member. And I plan to bring the same advocacy that I do through my leadership on the community board and through projects to projects. I plan on bringing that same heat to City Hall and make sure we get what we need.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That kind of, you answered actually 3 of my questions in one. Because my question was, because for the people who don't know, who don't really follow politics, can you just briefly describe the role of a city council member? Yes.
So I'm going to break it down so that a 5-year-old can understand.
Okay.
So being a city council member is basically a person who is the city council member. They are the biggest advocate for your community regarding education, housing, sanitation, rezoning in your district, where the money's going. They take that information of what's being said by the community and what the community wants, and they bring that to City Hall and they advocate for it. When you're advocating for a budget, you have to show why you need this and where's the necessity.
Okay.
Right? When you're talking about sanitation, why you have to set a budget aside. When you're dealing also with nonprofit organizations, there's something called discretionary funding. And when nonprofits, they fill out an application for the discretionary funding, the city council works with the mayor's office to show them, hey, this is the process of the application through Mox and Passport on how to submit your receipts so that it can be reimbursed. So when nonprofits are asking for funding from city council, it's more of a reimbursement program. So basically, a city council member is the biggest advocate on the city level because there are other branches such as your federal, which is your congressman, and your state, which is your assembly and senate. So your city council member is your biggest advocate for all city situations, concerns, and issues, which is your housing, education, tenancy, streets, sanitation, beautification, and the money.
Okay. Because I have a Mox account and a Passport, and navigating through some of that stuff is challenging.
So,
you know what I'm saying, to say the least.
Same for me. So, I have my own nonprofit, and I also apply for discretionary funding. Wow. I haven't used it because, like you said, the process is very long, and it can be discouraging. Right. So I plan on once I'm in office, making sure that I build those relationships with the mayor's office and making sure that we have those, I don't want to say town halls, but we have meetings with the other nonprofit organizations to let them know, hey, this is what the process looks like, and here's your counselors, so that we can show them step by step, because it's the people's money.
Right, it's the people's money. It belongs to them.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to let some people call in, okay?
Sure.
You feel like answering some questions?
Yes.
All right, that's what's up. All the Ingredients Podcast. We back with Latoya Legrand, City Council candidate for District 28. Oh, and we got a phone call, actually, so you get to answer some questions.
Sure.
Hello, you're live here, All the Ingredients Podcast.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm good.
Your name?
How are you?
We're fine.
My name is Celinda.
Hey, Celinda, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
So I've got City Council candidate Latoya Legrand here. You have a question you want to ask?
Yes, I'm from South Jamaica, and I was just wondering, what would you say to a young person who wants to get involved with civics or politics, but doesn't know where to start?
Hi, Celinda, and thank you for your question. So what I would recommend, especially for a young person who wants to get into politics, being a young person myself when I first got in, there was no blueprint. So I would say start where you are. Reach out to your community boards. Volunteer with your senator's office. Find out who your senators are. And you can do that by going on who is my representative on Google.
Okay.
Right? So I would
Okay.
tell a young person, hey, reach out to who your local state electeds and let them know you would like to volunteer. And also, especially if they're in high school, say, hey, if I volunteer, can I get that used towards my credits and for high school? And their community
Thank
boards.
you so
Very important.
much.
Thank you for your question. That's an amazing question.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, because I know there's some young people out there. They definitely, they definitely want to get involved, but nobody knows where to start.
Right.
Like, do I do volunteer work, or who do I reach out
Yes,
to?
I would
or
always.
Who should?
Yeah, and the government also has to make sure that we're putting that out there, right? Going to the schools, when they have those career days at schools. Elected should be in the school. Hey, this is who I am. This is what we do specifically in the community, and this is how you can get involved. Right. And I plan on bringing that to City Hall.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We're going to take another phone call. Let me see. We got anybody on the line yet? No, not yet. All right, we'll wait. I'll go to another question until we get another phone call. Wait a minute. We got another phone call. Okay, hold on. I don't know. My Bluetooth isn't Bluetoothing. Hello. Can you hear us? Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How we doing this evening?
How you doing? Who am I speaking to?
Well, this is Max Jean-Baptiste, Queens native out of Jamaica.
Okay.
How we doing?
What's going on, Max? We here with Latoya Legrand. You got a question for her?
I got the question that everybody always wants to ask is, what is your plan to connect with the community if you're elected? Because a lot of our officials, we hear about them right before the election and they're gone again. And how do you connect with the youth and some of the business owners and the family?
Max, thank you so much for that question. So I'm currently already doing that. I'm connecting with the community through my nonprofit organization and through volunteering as an executive member on the community board. So I make sure that I'm in touch with all of the community organizers in South Jamaica and in the surrounding areas, and also making sure that our youth is engaged in our programming, because you can't just preach at them. You have to get them involved so that they feel like they are a part of this community. And that's how we gain real results. So it's not a matter of when I get in there. I'm already doing the groundwork, and I've been doing it before I even decided, to get into this.
Thank you, Max. We appreciate your call.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate you.
Okay, we got some heavy-hitting questions on the phone line today.
You do.
People want to get involved. It's a different day.
I didn't get a chance to mention about the small businesses. Small businesses are very important. That's how we bring the dollars back into our community.
Absolutely.
And that's how we empower one another. And I would make sure that those organizations who are providing employment to our youth, that those organizations meet with the small businesses so that the youth can go actually into the businesses and see how it's ran. Because then that not only is that showing them the way of how to start a business, but it's empowerment. And it's economic mobility, so they can see this is possible, and a possible apprenticeship.
Okay. Nah, that's what's up, man. So you took the phone call. So is there anything else you'd like to add on before we actually, we're going to get to some food in a second.
I got a question.
You got a question? Go ahead, sure.
Yeah. So, kind of
lean a little closer to the mic.
like coming off what you just said, basically, like what type of initiatives can you present or provide to help our business owners, and basically like to help recirculate our dollars in our community? Because it says that it's a saying like the Jewish community, like their dollars circulate maybe 9 times before it leaves the community, but ours once it's spent, it's gone. So what can we do to foster?
So it's about partnerships, right? We need to have those partnerships. We need to have town hall meetings. We need to have regular meetings with business owners in our district to make sure that they know all the services that are available to them, such as small business services, or even if there's a small whether there's a loan program, but at a low % rate, so that they can know, where it is and how to go apply for it, not just give it to them and say, hey, this is it. No, show them the process, but also getting them involved in the community. And those town halls are going to form partnerships. And there are other businesses that may have information that other business owners don't know about, because it's about access to information and resources. Right. So I do plan on having those town halls with the businesses and with other city agencies that can assist with the businesses in our community.
Okay. Well, if you ever want to host one here at Burgers Tacos Wings,
absolutely,
let us know.
Absolutely,
we'd be more than glad to have you. So we're gonna take another quick break, and we're gonna get you something to eat.
Thank you.
Like you some food or something.
Thank
All right, we'll be right back. Early voting starts when? When does early?
Yes. So early voting starts June 14th to June 22nd, and Election Day is June 24th. Election Day, June 24th. Right. Early voting, June 14th to the 22nd.
Election Day, June 24th.
Yes.
Make sure your voice is heard. Make sure you vote. Get out there and vote.
Right. If you want to know where your voting site is, make sure you go to the Board of Elections website.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point out something about you, being the only female, woman of color candidate in the race to replace a woman of color. Like, I think that's very important, like, for our community, as far as African American women. I feel it's y'all time, and that's what separates you as a mother and being connected to the community on the ground level. I think that's what's distinctive about you as opposed to the other candidates. Like, if there's anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, so thank you for that. I appreciate that recognition and acknowledgement. So yes, being the only mother in the race, I've come with a unique experience where my advocacy is more for education and making sure that our public schools are getting the resources and money that it needs, that our parks are beautified, that we have enough money in the budget to grow and develop our children in a community where we can truly increase the quality of life.
Right.
Yes.
Good. Okay. And
you got something else? Go ahead.
Yeah. Just, like, with that being a mother, like, this past weekend we had the street renaming 134 Avenue and God Brew of the late great Raymond Freaky Ty Rogers.
Yes.
Freaky Ty, RP Freaky Ty, L's up, the Lost Boys. And and that's something that was near and dear to me. Like, knowing him, he's a mentor, like a big brother figure to him. Not just him, but the group. Shout out to Spig, Mr. Cheeks, and Pretty Lou as well.
Yes.
But the family, they had a long journey which was 3 years of trying to make that happen. And it was they was going through the rigmarole of, the politicians who's office now, giving them a runaround and everything. And they came to me about that.
Yes, they did. Yep.
And we set up the meeting with him, with his son, his family.
Yes, we did.
For you, I said, talk to my people.
Yes.
And what took them 3 years, within 3 days, you got on it and you got the approval for them.
Yes.
And then, a couple of months later, we had the ceremony. But I think that's very important to highlight and acknowledge because,
that's big.
Yeah, that's real big.
Thank
actually.
you. Because you see the cultural urgency, and then for it to be tabled for 3 years, that's a long time. So when Edwin brought Khalil to me, also Freaky Kai.
Shout out Freaky Kai.
Yeah, shout out to you,
Freaky
Kai. Yes, so Edwin brought Freaky Kai to me and explained what was taking place. And I said, no problem. I'm an executive member on Community Board 12. I'm going to make sure we get results because that's what Latoya Legrand does. She gets results. It's not about talking.
Tell the camera that. Tell her.
Latoya Legrand. She gets results. And that's why my committee name is Latoya Legrand for the people, because I'm truly for the people. And I thank Edwin for bringing that to me. And we were able to get it done in a few months, what took others to take. It took years. Yes. So thank you, Edwin, for doing that. Because if he didn't bring it to me, I would have never even knew that this was happening.
Yeah, I wanted to see that happen.
Yeah.
We had the.
We all wanted to see it happen.
We all wanted to see it happen. Yes.
So they had the mural. They unveiled that last year,
which is beautiful.
And they wanted to do that at the same time, but it didn't happen.
Things didn't align.
Yes.
Right.
So I was like, nah. So when they brought it to my attention, I had to do what I had to play my part.
So I thank you for bringing it to me, and I thank Community Board 12. Thank you, Community Board 12, for making sure that this it manifested itself, and it was a beautiful event on Saturday.
Yes,
absolutely. I saw the turnout on social media. I couldn't make it there. I was there
it
in
was
spirit,
crazy.
I was there in spirit. But it was amazing. Though. Amazing look.
Yes.
Y'all hungry, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we're gonna try some of our famous wings. We're known here for our tacos. We run best tacos in Queens.
Yes.
But we're gonna do some wings today.
Then I should have got a taco.
Yeah.
I should have ordered a taco.
Whoa. We ain't going to do tacos today. It's not Tuesday.
I'll come tomorrow.
Right, come tomorrow. You be a part of
Me and the whole
Tuesday.
family's coming here tomorrow. Taco Tuesday.
Please do. This is a family place. We have people, and that's what we love the most. When people come with their whole fam, sit down, get something to eat, enjoy.
Yes.
And also write reviews because we need those good reviews.
But also I want to thank you in in what you do here, giving back to our community.
Thank you.
Because that needs to be highlighted.
Wait a minute.
Oh, there it is.
What's this here?
Woo woo.
Okay.
Look at that. The fries is good too.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna have to show this to the camp now.
I think you should show it to the camera. You have to show it to the camera. They got to know why they have to come here.
Right, exactly. Hold on, y'all gotta
look at the wings.
Your next event, make sure you come here and you patronize and you get your wings and your tacos.
So these are our special.
Who are the wings for?
I can't even really tell you what the wings are, but I want you to taste them and see if you like them. We know you're gonna like them. So
that's us. You smart man.
Hey, I ain't trying to get in trouble.
That's right.
Ain't gonna ruin my evening, brother.
You smart.
Yeah,
very smart.
Man, y'all know when to roll them and know when to hold them.
That's a fact.
No, but this was back in the day.
So high five to that. That's the truth. Where did they go? Yes.
Now we're looking for the
Yeah, the lightning bugs. Oh my God.
Yo, we used to remember back in the day.
Yes, we used to catch them, put them in the jar.
Oh
man.
You used to shake them up.
Yeah, so he could get a little sand.
There you are.
Yeah, hold on. I want you to taste the wings first.
Me?
Yeah. What you, a flat guy or don't be dropping the fries now? Okay, what you, a flat guy or a drum guy? Which one? Flats or drums?
Drums.
Drums is your favorite?
I eat it.
What you
well,
like?
Good, because I'm flats.
Yeah, you flats. I would have did all for you. Well, you got mostly flats.
Yeah, that's why I did it that way. That's why I gave him that one, because it had mostly drums.
Oh yeah,
I strategically gave him that one.
Our blue cheese and ranch is made in house, by the way. We make that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's not that. No, you gotta care.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta care.
I don't care that she gave it to me. I eat both of them. Flats.
Okay. What do you think?
This is really good.
You like that? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what's up.
I'm gonna have to take an order to go.